Hey guys, Dark Prometheus here. We are in week 9, which is our bye week. We're doing this one unedited so we can look at a couple of things. I will also look at the contracts. So start there. In our bye week, we have Harold Jones Quartet and Zach Miller say he wanted to test free agency. We also have Nick Foles, which I'm not high on. He was really a stopgap in case Cutler got hurt, and Cutler did get hurt, and Mannion did get hurt as well. We're gonna have to look for another quarterback too. But Harold Jones Quartet was a 3-year deal. Okay in zone coverage, okay speed. He's pretty good in the actual game tackling, not his stats here. But he's done pretty good at tackling wise. His good acceleration. He's a guy that can really push it over the next 2 years. He's only 24 years old as well, so we'd be signing him up into his 5th season when he's 27 years old. And I'm kind of alright with this. Let's make an offer here. See what he wants. He wants a higher bonus. Okay, cool. So we're not going to worry about Nick Foles. We'll worry about him at the end of the season probably. But here we go. We do have to make a couple of changes here. Our injury report. Cutler's out another 4 weeks, so when we go against the Falcons, it'll be 3. Wilson's out for 3. Langford's got a couple more weeks. Kevin White's 4, and Sean Mannion is out 7 weeks. Now, mind you, we are in week 9. Mannion would come back after Cutler, so Foles will be starting. We need another quarterback on the roster in case Foles gets hurt. So I'm going to put Sean Mannion on the IR. He played great when he did, besides the one rain game in Carolina, where we just could not push the ball down the field. A little bit inaccurate in some of those plays, but we were playing from behind. We threw a lot. We threw into some coverage we shouldn't have, and well, we lost the game. So with him in there, we are also then going to look at free agents. We're going to pull in a quarterback. Doesn't matter who it really is at this point. It might end up being Trevor Siemian. He might be the most developmental player out here, but also a guy that I'm most comfortable with. It might actually be Matt McGloin as well. Let's look at this. Accuracy here. Trevor Siemian. Just not good deep, but decent short. Pretty much on par. 79, speed 74. Really, they're almost identical. We're going to go with Trevor Siemian. We're going to bring him in. He's going to be sitting behind Foles. So I'll edit that later. A couple of things that we do have to see. News feed. We're going to do some full scouting, and we'll do a little scout preview of what we like so far. But draft stories. Take away Jamil Tartt's interception and touchdown return late in the 4th quarter. Wisconsin would have lost a big game. So it looks like Tartt's looking up here. Middle absence are costing Clemson receiver Canarius Cobb. So he's struggling right now. Looks like he's having drops. Not focusing on there, and it's going to hurt his impacts. So let's look at scouting those 2 players. Then we'll kind of do a scouting review and a positive preview here. So let's go over to cornerback. We do have Tart on here. He is a solid guy here. B plus zone, B coverage, man coverage, and B press. It looks like he's probably one of the more solid corners on here, if not the best corner I see in the draft so far. And we are going to scout that receiver, Canarius Cobb, out of Clemson. He's a speed guy, 6'2". I mean, I don't see why he's dropping passes. But so far, we've looked at a lot of the quarterbacks. My best thought on the best quarterback is between Fisher and Danny Cornelius here. But also, you have Norman Bannon here, and you have Eric O'Leary, who are both other first-round picks. I really like O'Leary because of that throw power. I like a quarterback that can push the ball down the field. His accuracy we can change from there. But his long throw might be below a B minus. Well, it might be a B minus or lower. It's probably in the C plus C range. So really, it might be something to where we really pick up a quarterback that's going to be playing behind Cutler. Unfortunately, I haven't looked at any halfbacks. Not going to look at the fullbacks. We did look at Canarius Cobb. Probably not going to look at the receivers. We're on tight ends, and Zach Miller wants to go into free agency and test it. We're looking at some intriguing prospects here. The biggest intriguing one is Derek Alonzo. He was a intriguing prospect. He had 3 or 4 touchdowns over the last 4 games. So he had a touchdown every game. And he's considered a blocking tight end. So he's good catching traffic, plus he's a good blocker. So that would be good for our number 1 receiver or tight end. Something along the lines if you play like a Martellus Bennett or a Gronkowski can block when he wants to when he's playing as well. But other than that, I mean, it's Hightower and then drops off past Marshall foot here. I'm not really comfortable with the other 3rd, 4th, or even a 2nd round projected prospects. For on tackles, we did look at Josiah Battles here. He did have a draft story, I believe. Pass block, impact block, and run block. Not something I'm looking at. I actually like my offensive line right now. And here is another guy. Actually, this is the guy who had the draft story. DJ Roundtree hasn't given up a sack or any pressure when he's been playing for Florida this year. So run block, pass block, impact block, and we do have Sutton, Ferguson, and Cornelius Washington all to be free agents going into this offseason. So that's a nose tackle, a defensive tackle, and then a left and a right end. So we're definitely looking at maybe bulking up that area or at least giving some prospects. Let's see what we got in the draft. So we did look at Lincoln Griggs, B tackle, get decent block shedding. Brian here, B tackle, block shedding, hip power. Let's look at a couple. Did look at a couple other ones. Derek Romo here, block shedding, hip power, and pursuit. But the biggest thing is Nick Vega, 7th round projected, good hip power, block shedding, and tackling. And he looks like a better prospect in at least the ones that matter, particularly in block shedding and hip power to get to the quarterback. Right end, we look at Jason Wooten. Not really liking the fact that, I mean, his block shedding's up there, but there's no move. And I do like there be a move somewhere around here. Let's look at Britton, the last one, block shedding, tackling, hip power. That's like it's how it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm not liking anything from that. From a D tackle perspective, I mean, I might move over Ego Ferguson if need be. We've looked at a couple linebackers to possibly move them over to the middle linebacker and seeing what we have over there. I want to take more than 4 on the roster, but after we had such a good draft between Wiggins and Stanton, they're on the active roster, and we just held Katawaski on there. We didn't really go after anyone who was undrafted at middle linebacker position that we actually kept, except one on the practice squad. But really looking at it, let's look at Holly over here. So run stopper, it looks decent. I don't care about a rusher really. For a middle linebacker, let's look at Irene Patrick. Average first round pick. I would rather take a lens than anything. Whitehurst, cover 2. I'd like a better pursuit. I'm looking for a guy that's more of a cover 2. That's a good late round draft pick. But as we look over on right outside, we just looked at him. So corner is what I'm focusing on. I'm anticipating Tracy Porter retiring soon. We do have Macklin on the roster. I like Hall. So it looks like we may need at least one corner. And really, we only drafted one corner that I liked in Macklin. Safety-wise, Amos, we are going to definitely be keeping those guys. But on here, Jamal Tart, I was already high on him to begin with. But with just that draft story, a man-to-man guy, good on zone coverage, decent on median man coverage. This is a guy that would definitely start on the other side of Kyle Fuller. And then we'd have like a hybrid role for Macklin. And in case of any injuries, Macklin does go out most of the time though when he's in zone coverage and a 4-corner format. We do play a lot of 4-corner formats in which it's either Bush, the safety, playing down in a hybrid middle linebacker safety position, or like he has played before, playing a corner position in college, play a little safety as well, but mostly corner. But him adjusting to that spot where he's a safety and middle linebacker position, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. Besides the last game, we just could not stop Cam Newton. We saw that these guys were high up in the list. Lester has a draft story. He's doing a pretty good job in coverage. And hip power, zone coverage, pursuit. Looks like a pretty decent prospect here. And then I took a shot to see what the first round prospect looked next to him. And pretty much the same there, besides his zone coverage, but good pursuit. Pretty much they've changed pursuit and zone coverage around. And then looked at Rankin and Polley, both number 1 strong safeties in case Harold Jones-Quarty doesn't want to sign. And pretty average. Kickers, I really have my kicker and successor to Robbie Gould. And that will be it for a little preview and review of the scouted players. Now let's look at the stats so far in the league. I believe we have the yearly awards out. So let's look at that right now. MVP looks like Andy Dalton. Stanford's on here. Rodgers, there's Osweiler, a bunch of quarterbacks. Coach of the year, we're 7-1, but we just had a pretty easy schedule along with a lot of things. So over to AFC, we'll go through this. Offensive player of the year, got a couple Bengals here. Andy Dalton's leading. Defensive player, Vince Williams. Still have Alan Bailey, Justin Houston. There's Joey Bosa. Jihad Ward is a rookie. And then offensive rookie, Sheldon Finnessy. Thought he was going to be a good player as well, just looking at him. But there's AJ Forte. There's Pointer. We did play him. And Lester Iwanuma. Defensive rookie, Dontravius Nasecki. Barry Bruce did play against him. He was a good run stopper. Cedric Tripp got a sack against us. Phil Ellerby is up here as well. And Dante Rutan. Quarterback's going to be Andy Dalton. Running back, Matt Forte, former Bear. Best receiver, A.J. Green. O-lineman, Joe Thomas, always anchoring that Browns line. Too bad they can't put any more talent together to get some wins. Joey Bosa, the best defensive lineman, over J.J. Watt. And I've always seen J.J. Watt win this award. Best linebacker, Justin Houston. You have Jelani Jenkins. So besides those two being guys that are getting a lot of sacks, they're playing that outside technique in a 3-4. Cushing's here, the only one really a middle linebacker. Shaquille Barrett was all over the field in that Steelers game, but we still somehow won it. Best DB, Adam Jones. Looks like the Bengals are just doing work. They're just not putting together wins. Best kicker is Dan Carpenter. So let's go over to the NFC. So Offensive Player of the Year, Russell Wilson. Here's Langford, but he's been hurt a couple of games, so he's probably going to fall off here. Defensive Player of the Year, Bobby Wagner. We can't see that. There's Torrey Fontenot doing a good job in a lot in getting pressure and making some sacks. McPhee, we got Callahan over here. He's got a couple interceptions. And Tracy Porter, that is a shocker for him. For Offensive Rookie of the Year, Lucas Gruber, we did play him. They really need to get something going there on offense. Shazier, Venable, I mean, guys that don't really make an impact to me in my head. We did play the Lions once, and we dominated Shazier. He'll be a good player once he gets going, though. Defensive Rookie of the Year, it is Torrey Fontenot. That was something I was expecting there. He's been doing work. Frazier, LaMarcus Gray, McDuffie, Fisher, and Rich Anand. He did some. He was overshadowed by Luke Kuechly, but he made some good tackles out there. Best could be Russell Wilson. Jared Goff's down there at 6. Best running back, Jeremy Langford. I would think he would fall off for the next couple weeks. Best receiver, I would say, is Des Bryant. He was all over us that game, but here's Alshon Jeffrey. Kevin White, who's injured. And Devontae Adams, I could see that. And Cobb and Fitzgerald. Best O-lineman, Trent Williams and TJ Lang. Tyron Smith. They're sitting. I started this before Sitton was released, so he's still on the Packers. D-line, Cameron Jordan, Torrey Fontenot there at 3, Sharif Floyd, Everson Griffin. Everson Griffin can do some work. Best linebacker, Bobby Wagner. I do see that. Danny Trevathan's there. Got a couple of forced fumbles, fumble recovery, and an interception. DBs, Jermaine Brock, Delvin Breaux. He was a pretty good guy there. Vernon Hargraves, who's going to be good for the Bucs. They just need to get some talent on the offensive side of the ball, other than those two receivers. And Bruce Callahan's in there as well. So really all we've had is really Callahan as a DB, and Robbie Gould holding it down as normal. So let's look at the player stats for us, and then we'll look at the league stats. So here it is. Cutler, who's played only 5 games? Played 5 games. Manning's got the other 4. In those 5 games, Cutler had 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Manning 4 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Pretty comparable in attempts, but Cutler has 20 more completions and a 70% completion compared to Manning's 61%. But Cutler took 12 sacks, Manning 14. We just have to get the ball running with Foles and hope that we can continue this push. Langford, 111 carries, 505 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jordan Howard, though, 4 touchdowns. He had 1 last game, so he had 3 touchdowns behind Langford before Langford got hurt. But 226 yards. Looks like a 4.7 average. No fumbles. Zach Miller's the only one with a fumble there. Receiving wise, it is Zach Miller as the most because we've had injuries besides Alshon. We haven't really concentrated any deep balls to Alshon all that much because of the injury to Cutler. So Kevin White comes in. Actually, Kenny Stills comes in from Miami, gets hurt, 17 catches, 340 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Kevin White gets hurt, following week, 26 catches, 472 yards. We were running with Alshon Jeffrey and pretty much Cam Meredith, 4 catches, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. Harkey as well, 11 catches, 126 yards, playing that second tight end spot. And then Langford, 3 touchdowns off 16 catches for 186 yards. Screen plays and just dump offs in the back of the field. Over on blocking, and this is where we're having an issue. I knew Roy was going to struggle a little bit over on left tackle. He's the inside guy, and he's probably better suited to play on the right side. But Bobby Massey, 6 sacks given up. Other than that, you have Grisal, Long, and Whitehair combined for less than the other 2. So 2 sacks by Grisal, 1 to Long, 1 to Whitehair. So I mean, really, it's just our tackle position we're struggling with. On defense, the most tackles by Jones Quartet, and that's one of the real reasons I want to keep him in. He's been doing some work in that. Next is Freeman, 54 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, got a sack and a half, 1 interception. And then Amos, we got shaken up last game, but still 49 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a couple deflections there. Callahan, 2 interceptions. Trevathan, 2 interceptions, 48 tackles. Porter, 1. Fuller, 1. And Fuller, he stretched out for that one like crazy. Forrest fumbles. Jones Quartet, Pernell McPhee, Fuller, Torrey Fontenot, Dion Bush. And then we don't have any block kicks. We do have 1 safety by Torrey Fontenot. We have no defensive touchdowns. And that's something we need to do. We need to get some turnovers. Kicking, Robbie Goals, 11 for 11 in field goals. Punting, O'Donnell, we got 8 within the 20, 4 touchdowns. Longest one was 63 yards. So doing much better this year with 8 inside the 20. Kick return, Grant, 18 kick returns, 459 yards. Not better than Thompson. In the grand scheme of things, just had more kicked his way. But still about a tenth of an average difference. But on punt returns, that's the big thing. Grant is able to catch these balls when they hit, pick it up, take it to the house. And he did do that once. So that is our team. Let's look at it by the NFL. So most yards is Blake Bortles with 2,095. He's about 20 or so above Stanford. And Rodgers about 95 behind Bortles. So I would definitely be used to seeing Stanford Rodgers up here. But Blake Bortles doing crazy amounts of work, and he has just as much attempts as Rodgers. Touchdowns. Osweiler, Dalton tied at 17. But Osweiler has 12 picks. Griffin, 13 picks. Osweiler has 12. Cam Newton has 11. Stanford has 8 there. Goff has 8. So really, that's why Dalton is the quarterback, projected to be the quarterback of the year over in the AFC because of those 3 picks instead of Osweiler's 12. Rushing. Doug Martin, 604 yards. Got 3 more than Giovanni Bernard. Then after that, it's McCoy. It's not even near him by 50 yards, and Langford has got 505. Best average in the league, though, in running for attempts for a quarterback, it's Cam Newton, definitely. But to get over 100 touches is Lamar Miller right now, and I believe he's out, or he missed a portion of the season. Touchdowns, Frank Gore has leading the league in 8. Then David Cobb and Carlos Williams have 6. AP has 5. Fumbles, though. Sandrick West, 5 fumbles. Kenneth Dixon. Stanford's been stripped of 3. Sean Mannion did have 3 there. Receiving. Best receiver, A.J. Green, 49 catches, 829 yards. He leads the league by almost 200 yards. It's 103 yards average a game. I don't think it has like his most in a game. But by God, he definitely has the most by 10 yards over Dez. 11 touchdowns. A.J. Green is having a stellar year. Yards after catch, 50 more over Sheldon Phillips here, which he's been doing a good job as well. But really how we stack up is we're down here in like the 400s. So, blocking, most sacks given up is Russell Kuhn at 12, so half that. So we're probably in the middle of the pack here, but still. Defense, most tackles in the league. Luke Kuechly, 74. There's Vince Williams, middle linebacker. Jamie Collins, Shazier did a lot of work against me, playing Harry Jones Quarties up here at 67. Most interceptions, 5 by Tremaine Brock, and we're not even close to that. Sacks, Cameron Jordan with 11. Charles Johnson, Joey Bosa, Sharif Floyd. I think this one's actually glitched out for us, so I'll have to go back and see. Defensive touchdowns. Couple block kicks. J.J. Watt, Terrell Suggs, Stovall, and DeForest Buckner. Safeties. Reed, Wilkerson, Hughes, and Watt. Touchdowns. We got a slew of touchdowns. It's probably a long list, too. Kicking wise, most field goals made, Suck Up, but he's missed 3. Most field goals attempted is Suck Up. He's missed 3. Best field goal possession with over 10 is Robbie Gould. He's made all 11 of his kicks. Longest this year is Myers. Last year it was Robbie Gould with like a 62-yarder. Punting, and this is why we may not be even close. O'Donnell has 8 and King has 10. Marquette King is one of the premier punters in the league. 48, 44. Net average. O'Donnell's 38, he's 44. I mean, I do see it. Kick return. Touchdowns, Cordell Patterson over with the Bengals now. Stephon Diggs, Earl Thomas, and Amari Cooper all have touchdown returns and kick return touchdowns. Punt return touchdowns, it's Jakeem Grant and Emmanuel Sanders has the other one. So I wanted to say defense and look at our sack total for the Bears. It's one stat I didn't look at. Fondo's at 8.5. McPhee's at 7. Floyd's at 5. Space's at 3. So Fondo's on par with a possible 17 sack season. McPhee's 14. Floyd's 10. He had about 10 last year. But Floyd's playing a lot of hybrid places in the defense between rushing in on a blitz or a pass rush, or he's dropping back in the coverage. So I definitely see why he has 5 sacks, and on the other side, McPhee has 10. So looking at offense, best offense is, well, we are. Probably because, well, offensive yards, we're not the best. Pass yards, we're right behind the Lions. Rush yards, we're probably the middle of the pack at 700. Points per game, we are 6th in the league. Colts are first 32. Passing touchdowns, definitely the Bengals. But we do have 19. Rushing touchdowns is the Colts. First downs gained. We're probably not even near this. We're in the middle of the pack, so makes sense. Defense. Total yards, best defense in the league is the Seahawks. Well, in total. In yards allowed, the best defense. They still don't think. They still say they're not the first defense. How's the stat go then? Says we're the first in the league, but we're not. This isn't how it goes. Okay. Oh, we're the league standing. That's our record. So, best in pass yards. The Chiefs have the best pass defense in the league. This is probably one of our worst categories. It is. Rush yards, though, we are the second best rushing defense in the league behind the Seahawks. I do see that because most of the time we're playing 5, 6, and sometimes 7 men in the box at a consistent level. Points allowed, that's the Seahawks. We were up there, but we allowed damn near 37 or 40 points to the 1-5 Panthers. Sacks, we have 29 sacks. Third best in the league. Fumble recoveries, we're probably near last. We have 5. We have 8 interceptions. So we're not definitely up there. The differential. Colts have 18 to them. We probably are in negative. Yes, we have -2. We gave up 15. 11 picks. 4 fumbles lost. We've taken away 8 interceptions and 5. We've had multi-turnover games, and that's the thing. It's holding us in there. And that will be the end of that. I don't think I want to look at anything else. So going into next week, I'll have another preview video. Actually, we'll look at the Falcons right now. It's much easier to look at it and we can see everything here. So Julio Jones, Font, there's Freeman. Very good halfback. Alex Mack moving over here. Beasley. They did grab Rashard Frazier and LaMarcus Gray. So that's 2 guys playing on their line that are very new. They have Courtney Upshaw, who brought over here 2 years ago. Kendrick Lewis, Sanu, Derico Thurmond, Coleman. So let's see. Matt Ryan over here, halfback's gonna be Freeman. Coleman will be behind him. They did get Treon Ward a couple years ago. Patrick DeMarco. Receiver, we do have Julio Jones there, Sanu, Hartline, Justin Hardy. Tight end, Vance McDonald, and this rookie, you might see a little bit on the field as well. Good speed, 82 speed, 83 catching. I mean, he's pretty solid. Keeps him bounce. Yeah, he's a solid rookie there, tight end. Jake Matthews is hurt. So, from there, and so is Levitre. So they are decimated on their line. And so is Calamete. Schrader will be playing. I would think that Frigo would as well. He's not a great pass blocker. We're going to see Ted Karras out there. We're probably going to see Person. And like this is just a mess for them on offensive line. Defense, we're going to see the rookie Rashard Frazier starting over here out of Penn State. Good strength, tackle, good block shedding. His main move is a power move. Still a decent finesse move and decent speed for a guy who's 300 pounds. Over on the other end, Rashid Hegman will be injured. So we might see Claiborne on the other side. Defensive tackle, we're definitely going to see LaMarcus Gray. Good strength, tackle, block shedding, another power move guy. Good acceleration from a lineman, 304. Tall, too, 6'7" at Clemson. Linebackers, Upshaw, Paul Warlow. He is very underrated. He's a very good guy playing in the middle of the field. Vic Beasley is actually injured, so we might see a little bit of Julian Stanford out here. So that's a big blow for him. Over on corner, Trufant, then after that falls out. Alfred's out here, Jalen Collins, but they can be pretty decent in man coverage. Alfred's an 80. I think Jalen Collins is a decent man coverage, but not decent in zone. Free safety here is going to be Kendrick Lewis. Strong safety is going to be Canu Neal. Decent guy there. Kicking is going to be Nick Novak. Bosch should be the punter. Want to see their picks. Practice squad wise, they do have a couple intriguing guys, but mostly a lot of them are starting right now. So I will see you guys next time. It's been a little bit long here, but this is really just putting up the last 8 weeks we've had, and I will see you guys when we go into week 10 against the Falcons. Later.